Kevin Pinto, and I think on Instagram most of you all know me as Wonder with Kevin. I have been into the travel blogging along with food for the last 4 years now, and I think all I've seen is growth and a lot of learning through that. The rest, I guess, whoever is following me on Instagram knows a lot about me apart from what I spoke now. Back then, influencer was not a thing, and it's something that just started over the recent years. So definitely, being an influencer was not in the list. I think I was like one of those people who wanted to be a doctor or a pilot or anything of that sort. Nothing happened. My entire career has been like a roller coaster because I've switched between so many type of careers, so many type of jobs. For example, I did my science in 12th, and then I thought I would become a dentist. I answered the dentistry exam and I miserably failed with the negative marking. Then I thought I'd get into architecture because I was good at art. I did rank in the entrance exam at a position of 3 all over India, and I did get into architecture. I was there for 6 months, then someone told me there is a lot of scope in engineering, so then I switched to engineering, but I completed my engineering, and that also didn't help eventually. But I think it's an experience where even though I have spent a lot of time or money in these different things, it has given me an experience and it has given me a learning and has helped me personally grow as an individual. So there's nothing I regret, but I'm happy that I went through this entire experience. I did my engineering at unveils, which is a new college in Asagaon. Frankly, I think it was that phase where I was pretty much confused with my career. I started off where I joined into architecture and then I switched into engineering. I think all of us are at that phase where we are not sure of our careers, but I passed out as an engineer. Yeah, I got placement through my college itself. So it was for a customer service associate back then at Amazon in Pune. I worked there for 1 year, but again, that was not really my liking. So I've switched like a couple of jobs. I've gone from customer service to into sales and different kind of jobs, and finally right now I'm settled for digital marketing. So apart from like the travel that I do, I also work for a digital marketing agency here in Panjim. It's been 5 years. I think it all, frankly, it started with YouTube, even though I'm not really active on YouTube now. But I started my first vlog on Kurdi, which is the submerged village of Goa, as everyone knows. So that's where it actually started. All because, some of my friends, they're like, you travel so much, but, we also want to travel. But what you can do is virtually show it to us. So I think that kind of gave me this idea is, whenever I travel to any place, why don't I document it? So I should write before, and then I started documenting it as YouTube videos, and then Instagram came with like the Reels feature. So it became very easy for me to edit short form videos and put it together rather than the long form, and then I transitioned somewhere from YouTube to Instagram. I think there was this part where I was stuck on 4,000 followers back then. I think this was way before the lockdown, and I was very upset because what happens, even though we say that followers are not everything or whatever, what happens in the end, we see that there are people out there who are growing, and you feel stuck. As a human being, we have that tendency to feel stuck, to feel left out, and that 1 month was really depressing for me. I even deleted Instagram for that one moment. But, I don't know, it was just that instinct that I said, okay, let's join. And when I joined, I just started putting videos. I'm like totally ignoring the views or anything. And something just hit. It was that phase in the lockdown where, I think most of us as creators got like a growth. And something hit, and I think 2-3 of my reels went viral, and that grew. So it's something that helped me restore faith that you need to be consistent, and if you are consistent, you will see the results. So I've mostly traveled to India, specifically the northern part, because even though I'm a tropical person from Goa, I love mountains more, and I've spent most of my days in Himachal, like exploring the offbeat places. So I've not spent much time in Himachal, in Manali or Kasol, because they're very commercial. And if you know, like most of my travel is around offbeat places. So I visited places like Shoja, Tirthan, and these, I mean, you won't find any tourists over here. Then up onto Ladakh, even the recent Ladakh trip that I did, I skipped most of the touristy places, and I visited the offbeat places to understand the culture, how they live. I think that's something that I enjoy. So these are some of the places that I visited in India and in the northern region. And apart from that, I've done trips to Maldives, Thailand, Vietnam, out of which Vietnam was my favorite. Basically, Vietnam is an entire trip that I fully planned from scratch, like doing the budgeting, planning the places, booking the hotels, everything from scratch. And it was a long 20 day. It was one of my longest trip that I did. And we stayed at hostels, we stayed at fancy hotels, we did a cruise, we did a cooking class, we tasted all the different kinds of food, and I think there was a whole immersive experience in this trip. So this is one of my favorite international trips. I did have like a terrifying experience when I went for my Kedarkanta trek in Uttarakhand. So that's a 5 day trek where you walk uphill for 3 days and 2 days downhill, and it's a winter trek. So I think on the third day, when we had to walk to the summit, we had to start at around 3 a.m. in the morning. And there's obviously less oxygen because it's 13,900 feet. So oxygen is very less. The temperature dropped to minus 16 degrees. So it was very extreme. And just before that, I was detected with pneumonia, and I was in that curing phase. So it was a little difficult for me to breathe, but obviously I had spoken to my doctor, taken tablets. So I reached one point where I'm walking, I can see the summit, but it looks very difficult, and then I cannot breathe. I just go breathless. So I take my tablets, and I think at that point, I realized how important life is. Even every breath that we take is important, and how grateful we need to be for having this life, for seeing a new day. I think it was terrifying, but it was a moment of gratitude for me, where I learned a lot on that trip. There is this one influencer, Wonder with Sky. I think whoever are into hardcore travel will know Wonder with Sky. So my Instagram handle, Wonder with Kevin, is actually come from there. So that's how it actually started. And later on, I came across Akanksha Monga. So she's one of my favorite. I hope she's watching this. And the reason, because what happens when we say travel, I think most of us just show the places, but what she shows us is the experience. And very importantly, she shows us how to travel, because there are very few people who give you that kind of informative travel content which she does. And I think that's something that I personally resonate around, and that's the kind of content that I also create. So I have that connect with her. All of us as creators, at least once in our lifetime, we have received a negative feedback. I don't think there is anyone who has not. So it is. It was very difficult initially to deal with it. It is to affect me a lot. It is to get to me. It is to affect my mental health. And I think any creator who is beginning, this will definitely affect. But over time, I kind of realized that this is something that I need to ignore. And I think because if it affects me, it's going to stop me from growing. It's going to stop me from being consistent. And I think no matter what you do it either this way or you do it this way. Everyone or anyone is going to say something about it. it. And I think that shouldn't stop you, because that's something that stops most of us, like in the initial phase where we feel what people will say if I do this or if I do that. And I realized that this shouldn't be something that defines my work. I do the hard work. This is my work. I know how I have been doing it and how I have reached here. So I've kind of got a habit of ignoring the negative. So very important is relevance. Your content should be able to resonate with your audience, and that's the reason people are following me, because the kind of content that I put allows it resonates with them. They can connect with it. Secondly, I always focus on budget travel, because I think that's what people are looking for when someone wants to travel to any place. It is budget travel. So I want to keep my niche as a budget traveler, where I give out tips and a lot of information for people who want to travel, and my aim is to make it easy for them to travel. So I think this is the kind of content strategy that I have been using, and consistency is of course the key. So I plan on continuing that. Yeah, I think what happens is most of us, may it be influencer or not, whenever we want to start something, we go on second thoughts, like, if I do this, what will someone say? So we are very worried about what people will say. We are very worried about whether we are doing the right thing or not. I think unless we take that leap of faith, unless we take that first step, nothing can help us, and it will always hold us back. And in the long run, we will regret that, if I had taken this step at that age, probably I would be elsewhere. So take that step, take that risk, and it's life, so it will happen.